Welcome, guys. You are welcome to another brand new episode of Sister Sister, where we explore the rawness, realness, and complexities of relationships. And of course, we also bring your relationship stories that you send to us to life right here on the show. And if you're listening, this is City 97.3 FM, and on DSTV, it's channel 363, and GoTV, channel 117. Now, it's time for us to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be introducing the sisters and getting straight into the show. Remember that this is sponsored by Gino. We'll be back. Welcome back, and if you're joining us, this is Sister Sister. Now, it's time for me to introduce my sisters, but before I introduce the sisters, remember this is an interactive show, so you can use the hashtag Sister Sister, Sister Sister on Twitter and on Facebook. And of course, you can send in your letters to sistersisterislive@gmail.com, and who knows, it might be your letter that we will be reading next week. Now it's time for me to introduce the sisters. Oh God, Rosie, your smile. Oh, it hit me hard.
Hi. Well, you're looking amazing.
Thank you.
I couldn't help but smile.
Like you too.
Oh, thank you.
Pink look good on you.
Yeah.
Pink, yeah. Beautiful. How are you, Rosie?
I'm fine.
How's
I'm fine. Everything is fine. Everything
I really
is
like
good.
what you're doing on social media.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole, I think it's a thankful content.
Yes.
The content about being thankful for, a certain number of days. Yeah.
Yes.
The consistency, I like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
And the channel is also Rosie, so for those listening, you can subscribe too.
Yeah, so if you want to learn how to ride a bike, it's Rosie.
Yeah.
She put it on her YouTube. Sit shopping.
Hey, Chris.
There's something about you today. You're glowing.
I am, right?
Can you tell us what is causing this glow?
I can't say it on live TV, but it's been a good
It's been a good week.
yes, I've had a good night as well, so
This is where Sister says, stop it.
stop it.
All right, teacher, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris.
How's the jollof?
Not bad, always great, as you know it.
Okay, and joining us today is no stranger to the show, Marie Rose, who is a counselor and also an entrepreneur. Hi, Marie Rose.
Hi, Chrissy.
How's everything?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're looking beautiful.
Thank you. You're also looking very great.
Thank you.
I love your hair.
And it's all yours.
Yes.
It's all mine. Can I?
You are inspiring me.
You should.
Yep.
You should.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
lovely.
I
I'm
love
going
it.
to do natural hair from next year.
Oh. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sisters, we're going to get right into this, letters of the day. But before we do that, hi, Bruce. Bruce, I like your new aprons.
Yes, lovely.
It's lovely.
Hey, you're showing us things, huh?
Branded.
Branding.
I'm trying.
Bruce, I can see you're making some drinks. What drinks are you going to be making for us to cool our tempers and our emotions and
you
everything that
have-
we're going through the show?
Today you have a margarita.
Oh,
Margarita.
Our newcomer will have a sobri because she's
sobri.
sober.
Ooh.
what is that supposed to mean? Well, we ain't complaining.
We ain't complaining.
All right. So the drinks are ready, the sisters are ready, and it's time for us to check out our letters of the day. So our first letter. My name is Boachi, currently in Ghana. Though I used to stay in the USA until an unfortunate incident happened to me. I visited Ghana about 6 months ago, and when it was time to return to the USA, I was denied entry at the immigration. The reason is that my supposed American wife, whom I had a convenient marriage with, has filed for cancellation of my green card in my absence, and copies have been sent to the Interpol and immigration points. The reason is that she has been informed that I came to Ghana to visit my wife and kids without telling her I have a family back home. Fast forward, my marriage with her was just for papers, and which I paid her $22,000 US. I'm naturally a generous person. So when I came home, my younger brother introduced a business idea for which he needed about 150,000 Ghana cedis to start. I gave him the money with no hesitation because at least I knew he would support my other siblings when things went south. When I was denied entry to the USA, I came back home with disappointment all over, and things started getting rough. I had to sell my house just to see if I could start something. But unfortunately, the business also went wrong. Guess who bought my house? My own little brother I gave money to for him to start a business. He used the money I gave him to buy a large acre of land in the gold mining area. And thankfully, within a short time, the land was discovered to have the highest gold underground. So some Chinese investors offered him $2.5 million so they could mine the land. He sold it without telling me and also denied borrowing my money when I asked him for a favor, and rather advised that I sold my house and turned around to buy it himself without my knowledge. I have gone through a lot with my wife and kids, and the only person who supported me is just one of my sisters. All my other siblings now turn to support my kid brother because he has the money now. Gracefully, a friend of mine who knew that my younger brother used the money I gave him to invest in a business for us met me, told me the whole story, and promised to give me a lawyer. We started the court process, and thankfully, the court ruled in my favor. My kid brother is back to square one and now begging for forgiveness, including my other siblings. I honestly don't want to have anything to do with them. And worse of it, his wife, who was extremely wicked towards me, and is now down with stroke, and he's asking me for support. I need your advice, sisters. This feels like a movie.
It's a whole movie.
It's a whole movie.
Wow. I'm going to start with you, Mary Rose. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, very checkered. From the US to Ghana to land to court. I think it sounds a bit technical because he's talking about having done convenient marriage and all that. I can't say much about that because I'm not on top of immigration rules of the US. But for, I don't know what level they got to that she could just go and get his green paper cancelled. Yeah. Because once you're married, I know that the only way is to divorce. So I don't know how you can get somebody's papers cancelled. How she got approved and all that to get it cancelled like that without any negotiation. So it's a bit difficult to understand that part of this issue. But whatever the case may be, was it true that he had his wife and children here? Yes. And so what was he going to get the papers over there for? And how was he going to,
maneuver.
Maneuver. Because you marry another person there. And how was he going to bring the children and the wife over there? Because over in the US, you can have what you call polygamy.
Well, but what happens is they eventually divorce after, I think, 5 years. And then now, I'm sure the plan was to now bring this one as the wife and
so that was
kids.
maybe that was his plan. But whatever it was, I don't know how much money he carried to Ghana. Because if you came and you gave your brother 150,000 Ghana cedis, that's equivalent to about
$15,000.
$15,000. And he had paid $22,000 to your US wife, whatever that it was. And so if you had that much money, you should have had money some spare on you, because I don't think you carry all your money and give to your sibling.
Exactly.
Whatever the business might be. So you should have had extra, maybe double that amount. So if you gave your brother 150,000 Ghana cedis, you should have had about 150,000 Ghana cedi to put on the, yes, to put on the side for you. Yeah, because you don't give all your money out. But in any case, just in case he was just too generous to a fault, and threw caution to the wind, and thought that, oh, because it's my sibling, and the way he's saying it looks like they didn't write any contract. There was no paperwork. So the brother just takes the money and goes to do things that he wants to do without helping, and without even consulting him. So now he finds out that the brother has become richer. From borrowing the money from him. And it looks like, it means that he didn't, whatever business proposal he gave him wasn't what he used the money for, because he said he used the money to go and buy a land now, but he had a different business proposal. So
which I think his brother was supposed to be part of. You see?
Yeah. So now you go to buy a land and then you get the gold and you sell it without telling your brother. I think that is wickedness. Because your brother has had problems and now he's stuck in Ghana.
Yes.
He was going to go, he was going on his way, he was sent back. He was not allowed, and now his papers are with Interpol and all that. So that means that your brother is in a constraint. He is in a difficult situation now. And if for any reason at all, for nothing at all, he gave you money to start something, and it was just right for him to look at the interest of his brother.
So do you think the brother might have called the contracted wife and say, okay, look, your husband is here with his kids and wife and stuff like that? Do you think there's a possibility?
There's a possibility. Just yesterday I was talking to somebody and the person was telling me how in the UK somebody went to visit a friend and was living with a friend, and then I don't know whether he had overstayed or he was working or something like that. I think there was an issue with his papers. He wasn't going to stay, but he had, I think, overstayed. And whilst he was there, he had his money with this friend that he was staying with in his account and all. I think he was transacting things through his account. So he had money with this friend. And one day they were going into town. This friend intentionally runs the red light. And when he ran the red light and the policeman came, do you know, he told the policeman, oh, he has a problem with his papers, it's him. And he was pointing to, yes. So
this is a real life story.
Real life story, so that he will be repatriated. And the policeman told him, I'm not an immigration officer. I am a policeman. I am here because you crossed a red light, and that's why I am here. It's not about immigration. So if it is immigration, somebody else will have to deal with it. That is the only way that's saved. It's only God that saved that man in that circumstance. So as soon as they dealt with him, and you know what, they will give you a ticket and all those things. So when they finished and then they left, he said as soon as he got home, he packed his things,
collected his money.
He didn't even collect his money. He just left the house.
Yeah, because he
left and went.
Yeah,
because
he can call.
He can cause
He can call the
problems
immigration
for you.
for him.
So people can be that bad. I'm saying the story to show that people can be that bad, knowing that maybe he might have had some relationship with the brother's wife, and could have called her and told her, your husband is here to see his wife. He has wife and children here. He could do that.
Yeah.
He could do that, because if he could do all those businesses behind him, what else couldn't he have done? So the brother could have done that. And then it brought him back to square one, thinking that he's going to cripple him.
Yeah.
But thanks to the court that were able to. So for me, I would say that when you are dealing with family, their relationship, all right, but don't throw caution to the wind. Don't say that because it's my sister or because it's my brother, that when it involves a lot of money and some property and all that, you won't do the right things. Always make sure that if whatever that you are doing is something that you can't let go easily like that, put a paper to it. Get a witness. Do something, the right thing, so that when it comes to having to get your thing back, it is easier. But don't just say that, oh, because you're my sister, you can just live in my house. You can, sometimes even siblings have taken over their spouses, their siblings' spouses.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
they were that generous with them. When they come to their house, you go to their bedrooms and then you use their things and all that. So there are so many issues like that come up in different ways because we are thinking about, oh, it's because I love my ex-trust and all that. But
family.
It's family, but we should know where we draw the line.
Right.
Yeah.
Sisho, what do you think?
You know, I've always said this. When, let's say, for example, if the white man brings a ship at Tema Harbor today and says, oh, slave trade is happening, but in another form, just bring a relative or bring a friend, that ship would be full of people. Believe you me, I'm not even kidding. The black man is a very wicked creature. I have come to that conclusion. It was hard because I'm a black person. It was hard to come to that conclusion, but I've realized that humans, black people, are generally evil. This is your brother. Why in heaven's name would you want to cripple him? Why in heaven's name would you take something that belongs to him and not want to give it back or just watch him suffer? He didn't watch you suffer, but you are okay sitting behind and watching him suffer. It's only us black people who do that. Recently, I was in an ad, and Chris, you are in this industry, so you know how things work. Before you shoot an ad, your picture is taken to the client. Yeah. The client approves of your picture before they even call you to come on set. Now we go on set to shoot, and then I'm told the client did not. I'm like, are you joking? But I let it slide. Months down the line, I get called and told that a friend of mine I was in uni with calls me to say, oh, I saw your picture in this ad.
Oh,
then
wow.
I call the agency and say, what's going on? Why is my picture in this ad? And I haven't been paid for it. Long and short, oh, it was a mistake. I'm like, I don't care. You either pay me or we'll take it to the next level. But you see, it goes to show how we black people just like to take advantage of anybody we can afford to take advantage of. And so long as there's nothing to prove, thankfully, in my case, there was something to prove. And if the payment is not done, we'll move it to the next level. But the point is, these things shouldn't even happen with or without. We have conscience. That is why God gave us conscience. That's why God didn't give us contracts. He gave us conscience to use it for purposes like this. When you are doing something to someone and it is not fair, and you know if done to you, you will not be happy, why in heaven's name are you doing it to your brother? Now, back to the main issue. It is unfortunate that he finds himself in such a predicament. Thanks be to God that he has managed to wiggle himself out of it. This should be a lesson for him moving forward. It is important that when you are dealing with people, you keep family at an arm's length. Love them. I always say, if I'm giving something to any relative, I will give to you as if I am dashing it to you. Because it is in times like that that people will turn against you. Sometimes even your own closer relatives, like mother, father, whatever. Because then it's like, why are you fighting your cousin for your money, this money, you know?
Or let's settle it in
let's
the
settle
house.
it at home. Oh, forget about it. All those things. So to avoid all that, if it's, let's say, the person asks you for 15,000, you know that you're a generous person. You can actually give 5 without wanting it back. Give 5. Let it go. Forget about it. Whatever he does is his business. Because in that case, you would have had 10,000 saved for you to probably do something with it. Now he buys your house on top of it. This is the highest level of cruelty. Charlie, I can't overemphasize the point that we need to check ourselves as black people.
He didn't just buy. Remember, he advised him to sell.
To sell it.
Then he
turned around to buy it. It's unfortunate. It is sad. He should learn his lessons from this one life lesson. Other things will come to try to teach him. Like there's a saying that God will always teach you the lesson. Now, when you don't learn it, don't worry, it's not late. The lesson will come again in a different form. And now, until you learn it in class 1, you're not going to class 2. So this is his class 1. Thankfully and hopefully he's learned the lesson and he can move on to his next stage in life.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
Right, Rosie.
This gentleman strikes me as somebody who is very laissez-faire about decision making. And there are serious decisions to be made. Oh, let's just do this. Oh, let's just do that. You know, oh, it will be fine. I don't think he really puts a lot of thoughts into decision making because for someone you have already paid $22,000 to for an arranged marriage, why would you want to even come and visit your wife and kids without his knowledge, without the person's knowledge? because an arranged marriage, the person knows that you have wife and kids. Which
Exactly.
Maybe not.
Which meant
Maybe
that,
not.
or even if he doesn't know, the person should know that you have ties in Ghana. Why is it that as soon as you leave, the person has grounds to do something? Because those who do these arranged marriages, they know about it.
Yeah,
And that's why they charge heavy for
that's
it.
why they charge money.
And for you to have paid 22,000, I'm sure that because people pay much less than $22,000.
Yes.
So for you to have paid $22,000, it means that it was an actual contract. So I'm thinking that you just got up and said, oh, don't worry, I've paid for it. You know, there's nothing she can do. Then you just got up and left. You know, you should know how to deal with people. Now, I take it that he's generous. But sometimes you realize that there are people who are generous, but then their character is not good. So you realize that people can tolerate you around so long as they can benefit from you. But as soon as they realize they can't benefit from you anymore, they then begin to show you their true colors. I'm trying to just go on to the other tangentry. So there are people, they have money, they dote money around, but the way they talk to you, for instance, the way they relate with you, you feel pained, you feel hurt. But the thing is that you can't retaliate, because if you do, I mean, for your brother to be able to give you 150,000, it means if he says lie down, you lie down. If he says jump, you jump. You understand?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that this gentleman is two things. And when he was giving the 150,000, the story didn't say it was a loan. He said he gave.
Because he's generous.
He's
like that.
generous like that, and he's giving. Now, sometimes it's difficult when we give people things. We expect that they appreciate, not just by saying thank you, but sometimes returning the favor. We have that expectation. So now that you've given it out wholeheartedly, and things have gone south for you, why do you think you have a right to what the person does with the money?
True. Well, true.
You understand?
So there's a bit of entitlement on his side.
There's a bit of entitlement on his side. That's what I'm saying, that it's unfortunate, it's painful, it's difficult, it's hard, it seems wicked. But I'm looking at the other side of the story, thinking that, look, maybe he's not of good character, especially the way he relates with his siblings. So now that he can't hold himself up, his money is not important. He doesn't even have the money to give. So now they are now showing him how they really relate to him, because, I mean, it's a bit difficult.
But it's like a knife. It's a two-way.
It's a two-way. That's
sword.
what I'm saying. That. So they've discussed one side. I'm just trying to discuss the possible other sides. Now, the other thing to that Marie Rose touched on was that in life, I have learned this lesson the hard way. I'm also a very generous person. Sometimes you give. Somebody tells you a story like, oh, wow, you can even borrow. I've done that, so borrow from somebody to give to somebody who is in need, because you feel like this story is so touching, or because I have employment, I'm sure my money is going to come in a couple of weeks and I'll be okay, things like that. But you realize that when you are giving, don't give more than yourself. You can only give what you have.
Yeah.
So, and don't give like
what you don't have.
Tomorrow is so certain.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow is so assured.
I think that's the mistake I have
Yeah.
even been
Yeah, so you realize
so-
that some of us, and this is a note to self, you know, you have 5,000 in your pocket, somebody comes with a story
You want
and needs
4,000.
4,000.
Yeah.
Then you carry 4,000 or 5,000 and give to the person, thinking that, oh, this 1,000 maybe to last me for a week before my salary comes. You step out and then you have a flat tire.
Yeah.
Your tire is punctured. You need to buy a new tire. That's going to cost you like 1,500 Ghana cedis. You understand? So sometimes as human beings, we should learn how to give and make sure there's a buffer to sustain us. Because when I'm broke, I go through my phone book, and to be honest, I have so many numbers on my phone. The question is, how many of them can you call and say, I need A, B, C, D? The practicality of it is that it won't be more than one finger. I mean, the fingers on one hand. Because the people who ask you for, they are plenty, but the people that will give you help when you need it, they are very limited. So my advice to him is that, well, I'm happy that you are sorted and you seem okay now. Your brother did not owe you what he did with that 150,000. That is how you learn to forgive him. Number 2, don't let other people's how do you call it, their mistakes, their bad character affect the person you are. If you claim this is the person that you are, be that person. Just at this time around, be it with caution. So if there's any help you can give to your brother, to the wife who now has stroke, who is wicked towards you, you see, forgiveness is not a must. It is not very easy to do. It is very difficult, but it is one of the most liberating experiences you can ever have if you actually do it.
Well, it's time for us to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we will be checking out our second story, but I don't want to be the bigger person, and
I know, I'm just going on to the other side of the story.
and a very big thank you to our sponsors, Gino.